Hello and welcome back to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Monday, March 22nd. In this episode, the precious Brighton are dominant. United shit the bed in the FA Cup, and then we'll probably just talk some Cup Euro trash news, how much we care, how much we don't care. But first, Mike, Arsenal got their vengeance on West Ham for coming back 3-0 down. Do you feel any better?
I did.
Things better?
I don't know why. I was rooting for like the stadium to blow up, but yeah, it felt good to watch that, and it shouldn't have. But here's the thing: Arsenal historically are a team that deserve to be where West Ham is. Right? West Ham's having a ridiculous blinder of a season. This is like the best season in West Ham's history.
It's up there.
I want it to go poorly for them. I just want them to fucking pull a Spurs. I want them to blow it, right? I don't want them to be. And here's the thing: they're going to, right? Because this was in the same instance where that insane 3-0 comeback to Spurs.
So this was this November. This is when Spurs were
maybe
really
even earlier.
Yeah.
No. Right.
But you guys lost it in the 80th minute, and it never felt like it was going to happen, and then it just did.
Exactly. But so the same way that was the rocket ship that propelled them to this season, and they were having a good start before that. But that was like, oh my God, we could do this. It's like, no, you can't. This is the challenger, and it blew up, and they're done. They're fucking done. And you know what? Arsenal got a point out of it. They didn't win. They got a point. So look, that's if you were to tell me what I would have wanted after that game on Thursday, I would have wanted, I guess, a draw. Yeah. I'll never in my life say that Arsenal I want to win unless it's life and death.
It was really good. Like West Ham were incredible in the first half hour. Yeah. You're like, holy shit, where is Arsenal? They didn't show up. Then I guess I don't have enough experience in playing sports at all, but it must be difficult when you're in a game and you've got to like mentally wrest control back and like stem the tide. And that's what's so great about football is like, there's no timeouts. There's no, you go into the half, right? I thought the thing that was really enjoyable about it was one, in the comeback part, Lacazette was incredible. Aubameyang looked like he tried to get up at 6:00 in the morning for a 9:00 meeting and just looked exhausted and tired and sick. And he was terrible in the whole game and did nothing. But Odegaard, dude, if you're a Spurs fan, please don't let Arsenal have him. But the funny thing about Odegaard is if he was on Spurs, Mourinho would fuck him up and wouldn't.
Oh, of course, Mourinho would. But I don't love. I have conflicting. I have the same thoughts about those two players. The only thing I think about Aubameyang is that I've always thought this is that he's the perfect, detestable Arsenal player. Yeah, right? I said it about the dickhead
he's so flat track.
But he's so full of himself too, right? He's the idiot with the Black Panther mask for a goal celebration. He's the guy who's got the Lambo and the cobblestone streets ruining the fucking
and the bad hair. Who knows what he's doing?
And the ridiculous, what is this? 1996 with the stars buzzed into your fucking head. I don't
know what he's doing.
Oh, what an asshole!
Although I try not to give him too much of a hard time because Phil Foden has like a little Nazi thunderbolt on the side of his head, which makes me wonder if he's a little white power. I don't want to think about it, but he might be.
Yeah, but okay. But you know what? He has a fucking mouth.
He looks like he's 12 years old.
But he shuts the fuck up too. Yeah. Right? Like
what's gonna happen?
Aubameyang is just the outspoken, brash idiot. Yeah, right. But the thing is that he's never backed it up. He's in streaks. And his most famous moment in an Arsenal shirt is that with the game on the line in Wembley, Hugo Lloris stops a penalty. Right. That's it. That's his most famous moment in an Arsenal shirt.
I hope he stays those semifinals in the FA Cup and after the restart against City and Liverpool, he was really, really fucking.
You know what?
Anyway,
fuck him.
So I'm glad you got redemption. I'm glad that you got your win. But this isn't an Arsenal day. This isn't a Spurs day. This is about me admitting something that we all know, but I had to tell my wife. I have to tell everybody on the podcast. I've really, really been having an affair with Brighton.
Of course you have.
And it's hard, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I
told City, it's not you, it's me. I needed it. And this week, which was probably Brighton's biggest game of the season, the 6-pointer against Newcastle at home, where Brighton have 3 wins in the last 3 years because the calendar is so weird.
So here's the thing.
And they're going to do it, and they're going to be safe.
I think we'll be fine.
Oh,
and God. So that was the result they needed.
That was the best. They were so fucking good.
Let's just revisit that affair part real quick, because I have myself dabbled in this, not in the Premier League, but in the NHL. I had a mistress, and her name was the Chicago Blackhawks, but I got in early.
Yeah.
Like, just as she became legal. Okay.
Oh God, no! I'm not.
All right, I was in early.
Okay, that's you groomed them.
Yes, that's correct. I waited on the sidelines patiently.
This is awful. This is awful.
Well, here's the thing, okay? You have to understand that you're a Manchester City fan. You are going to win the Premier League. You are probably going to win the FA Cup. You are definitely going to win the League Cup. So that's 3 right there. And the only question really is if you're going to win the one elusive trophy that you've never been able to win before.
I would trade all of them for that one.
Of course you would. But understand, you are looking dead in the eyes of at least 2 trophies this year.
Well, we got got one last year, 4 year the year before. It's like
I know, but my point is that it's so weird. You like, and this is not and so we don't.
Basically, I'm dating Lana Rhodes, but I'm still looking for the new ones.
Yeah. So wait, yes. In so many ways, you can't see us right now, but if you could, this statement would shock and horror you or offend you. Laurent is basically the guy who's dating an Instagram model, but is going for the nerdy girl with the glasses.
Yes.
And
yes, I want Siri.
Let's be sure to bring this up. Laurent looks like the nerdy girl with the glasses. So
yes, I have been told that I look like an Asian lesbian IT administrator.
Yes, that is exactly what you.
Shout out to my friend Mike Munger, who told me that one day at the bar.
Oh man, that might be the show, folks. That's it right there. No, so that's the thing, is that you have the sun, moon, and the stars. Yeah, and you're hanging out with the peasants, and I respect it, but at the same time, I despise you for it. You know,
because things are going so well that I can just
you can just fuck off and do whatever you want.
Just choose to watch a team that plays exactly like my team, but badly.
Yeah, it's Bizarro City.
It is Bizarro Superman. They're the shit version of Shit City.
Yeah.
But I love them. They beat Newcastle 3-0. They were so good. 2 goals. Trossard and his weird gray hair, even though he looks like he has bubonic plague but survived. His eyes are sunken. His hair is gray. He's only like 22 years old. And then the ghost of Danny Welbeck, who somehow scored a goal from outside the box. Top bins. It was crazy. And then the other goal, I don't even remember what happened. It was something weird. And Newcastle,
definitive 3-0.
Yeah, they beat them badly. Like, Newcastle did nothing.
Yeah.
And Newcastle fans, I really have questions. I'm like, what do they want? Do they want their team to go down so that Mike Ashley suffers? Like, they have basically the Donald Sterling of the Premier League.
Oh, come on.
Donald Sterling's pretty bad.
Yeah, but is Mike Ashley that bad? Is he
they have Mike, they have Jim Dolan. They have Dolan.
Yes. Okay. No, that's bang on. They have
Dolan.
James Dolan.
They have James Dolan. Yeah. Jimmy Dolan is Mike Ashley. You know, he's running, he's basically, made money on something called Sports Direct, owns the team, has owned them for 15 years, and he kind of runs the team into the ground. And I think he thinks that they can go down and come back up because they have twice. So he's like, yeah, we got this. If we go down, it's fine. I'll save money. I don't need to get another manager. What's the big deal? Every time we go down, we bounce back up. What he doesn't realize is those other Newcastle teams had fight and spirit and good managers, or one of them did. The Rafa team did. And I think he doesn't realize it could go Sunderland way. Like, you can be in the wilderness. You think Leeds fans thought they were going to be out of the Premier League for 15 years?
Right.
Now, Leeds did go into bankruptcy and go 2 levels down, but once you go down, man.
Well, the thing that
you get back up based on the organization, but Newcastle has no organization.
Well, so you ignore the fact, not you, but like the idea here is that Mike Ashley is ignoring the fact that, like, he thinks that he could walk into the championship right now and win it. And that's not true.
Wrong. Yes.
He's comfortably mid-table with this team.
This team is not good enough to win.
They're not going to go down again, but they're not going to be promoted.
It can go badly. Like
it can. Yeah, of course. There. Right. It could get toxic and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is they'll fall ass backwards into an 11th
Now the weird
finish.
thing is that the money is so big. Like if you look at the championship, and this is not my digression into the championship. It could be because I like it's crap football at its crappiest.
We've got an international
break, so we might as well.
We're going to not tonight, but we're going to do it.
Norwich and Watford are coming right back up, right? No, but those are well-run clubs. Like they just don't. They're trying to keep it within their means, do the best they can, stay philosophically on brand. Like Watford are like a mini Chelsea in that they have multiple teams, multiple things. They fire their managers a lot, but they have a system where the team owns multiple teams. They loan guys between all the clubs and like they find ways to move up. Whereas Norwich is like a well-run, we balance the books. Yes, we went down, but we'll go back up, etc. And Newcastle are none of that. They're basically just some guy who wants to sell. He almost sold the team to the Saudis, the league stopped it for some unknown reason.
Probably because of human rights violations. And
human rights violations. Since when did that make a difference?
Immediately after Sheikh Mansour bought City, like basically the day after.
But they don't care that there's Chinese owners who own 3 other teams.
Nobody seems to care much about the Chinese doing anything. They're running the free world.
They got really good PR. Like we're gonna get banned now because of this, because some person is going to actually have to listen to this podcast in China. There's that many people. They'll listen to this podcast and they'll have
it translated. There's there's enough guys to listen to every podcast, but there's also one to translate every podcast into Mandarin and Chinese. It's very impressive.
Yeah, but one thing I do like, one of the things we did early in this podcast that we got away from, but like, is just like sort of talking about the differences in our leagues, in our sports, and just how much fucking relegation is just the coolest, weirdest, un-American thing that England has. And it gives seasons these extra drama that the league is over, right? Like, I think about the NBA. We're basically like jostling. There's 30 games to go. They're talking about who might the MVP be, and basically jostling to figure out whether the Nets are going to come together and whether the Lakers will be fine, and basically 4 teams can win. We're going to play a 6-month season to figure out if 4 teams win.
Okay. Well, I got a good parallel for this, right? Okay. Yeah. Baseball actually has the best parallel. Before they expanded the playoffs, it was the last week of the regular season, and there's 2 teams, and there's only 1 wild card spot, and they're playing a 3-game series against each other. And it is October baseball in the last week of September, and then it's just a slobber knocker and 2-1 games, and every pitch you're on the balls of your feet and your ass is off the seat, right?
Yeah.
And you're not, whatever happens, you're going to the playoffs or your season is over. Now that's the closest American sports I think gets to this.
Yeah, we don't, and
it's not even that close, because the difference is that you don't get to come back to the party next year.
Yeah,
right? Like you're not invited.
Gone.
You're not invited, right? Yeah. Forget the financial implications of it and all the value that is inherently there, right? Because that is tremendous.
But that's not even it. It's fans crying. We're doomed. I mean, it's real doom. It's the moon door in the air in fucking Game of Thrones. You're just gone. You get dropped out.
And I think the worst, psychologically, from the fans' perspective, from Fulham fans' perspective, who have done this rope-a-dope back and forth a few times now.
They're like, there's a handful of teams that are up and downers.
Sheffield United fans, right? They're watching the next 9 games, 9 games, whatever.
Well, they're dead already.
Yes, but they're watching the final games of their team in the Premier League.
Basically,
they've sobered to this, right?
Yeah, they've been shit for a while.
But they've sobered to it. They had a great year last year, but they've sobered to the idea that, like,
but now they lost their coach.
We've had a good run, and this is it, right? It's like watching your team die, and then you just go to purgatory for a little while, and you have to fight a bunch of wolves to get back to the promised land.
This is the part that's interesting that really makes it different from our sports, and it's subtle but big. The league is not what's important. Your team is what's important, right?
Yep.
Because no matter how you do, whether you go down, whether you go up, whether you do well in a tournament or a knockout round, you don't care what competition you're in. What matters is your team. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a key important difference to fandom that I think that American sports misses out on, right? The leagues have primacy. People talk about SEC. They talk about the NBA. The league is this unit, as this, Adam Silver is a big deal. Gary Bettman hated equally everywhere. The MLB is like, it's this closed group where you can just suck and just be making up the numbers. But the teams don't matter as much. It's just some weird, just subtle difference where, like, your team matters so much that how they do on a week-to-week basis is everything.
I don't know. There's three reasons. I think there's three reasons why. One, and I've said this a number of times, it's all they have, right? There's no the team that just sits there and cashes their fucking checks in Major League Baseball. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? So they don't give a fuck. But you know what they do have? The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Yeah. So they don't give a shit about the Pirates. So fine. Yeah. So they turn off the Pittsburgh Pirates games in April and they turn on the Penguins playoff games. Yeah. They're like, we don't give a fuck. That's why we're here.
Yeah, but do you think that there's a Venn diagram? Or maybe among casual fans, there's a Venn diagram. Do you think, like, if you're a hardcore Pittsburgh fan, you're just in on all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
It is Pittsburgh.
And I think that's true of most cities in America.
Except New York.
New York's a melting pot for sports fandom as much as it is for ethnicities. But two being relegation, right? Like the incentive to suck a little less than the three guys under you, right?
You just have to be less sucky than three guys.
Right. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the fat guy next to you, right? That's all you gotta do.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The guys are doing fucking math. They're like, we need 3 wins. We need fucking 8. We need 8 points. Right. This. So for us fans that like teams at the top of the league, draws are bad.
Number idea,
right? Draws are terrible. They kill you. Like, Spurs lost leagues because they had too many draws, right?
Sure
City, did. Liverpool fans lost a league because they had 2 more draws than City did, right? But at the bottom of the table, draws are gold.
Draws are wins. Points are points.
Any point you can get is point on the board.
And I think the third thing is that it's the multiple competition thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's you hit on it a little bit, but like if who's a good example this year? Southampton made a bit of a run, right?
But their season is really.
Oh, they took a complete nosedive in the Premier League.
Right.
And they stayed afloat for a while in the FA Cup. I mean, we could point to Spurs in the Champions League a few years ago, right?
Yeah,
where they were just complete
without
shit
that Champions League run, Pochettino would have gotten fired before.
At the end of that season, probably.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? So you're like, okay,
a cup run can do a lot, man.
It galvanizes.
Yeah, Arteta has that FA Cup win. He's our guy.
Because at the same time, you're gonna finish 15th, 16th, or 9th. If you finish 9th, awesome, great, terrific. We had more fun on more Saturdays and Sundays that year. But if you go on a cup run, and I'm contradicting basically everything I've ever said.
Yeah, but for your team, it's different, right? It's context.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
It all depends where you are. Like,
but when Southampton
when fucking what's Alan Pardew got Palace to the fucking FA Cup semifinal, and he does the dance.
Oh God, what a fucking man! What a man!
Well, what a fucking legend. But for that team, it was awesome.
Okay. And dare I say, if you are Wigan Athletic,
oh, for fuck's sake,
you got relegated in the same season that you won a cup.
It was
right?
Won that.
You had the best worst week of your life.
Have that. The thing is like there are teams that live on their cup run, right? That live in memory forever as cup teams, right?
And that's
the famous Wimbledon. They beat Liverpool. That team had a 10-year run. They literally vanished from the earth. They had moved, which in England just does not happen. They and then their team disappeared, and John Green, the writer of Fault in Our Stars, actually saved the team. But they live. Their time period has an exclamation point. They won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough famously went to 2 cup finals, the League Cup and the FA Cup final, and got relegated on a fucking point. Yes, that's Robbie Mustoe.
Robbie Mustoe's, yes, that's right. We gotta have Robbie Mustoe on the show. Can you imagine?
That would be amazing. But yeah, so that stuff's so fucking interesting. And then on this relegation thing, one of the things I've been thinking about is that pragmatic? Is Big Sam football, Mourinho, Big Sam, Pulis, Hodgson, is it over? I feel like Brighton is somewhat and Brighton and Bielsa are somewhat putting a nail in it, or do we just always have the battle of the beautiful game versus the darkness?
Here's the thing, is that you're going to have it at the bottom of the table because frankly,
you have to
get 40 points and you have to find a way to muck it up and get your shit draws and your counterattacking wins and all that stuff and whatever. But the days of it winning the Premier League,
never.
Oh, I think we are firmly in the camp of it being over. I think, and do not let me get on a huge tirade about, Mourinho and this and that, but the same players who went to the Champions League final, who beat City, who beat Ajax, who beat all these teams. By the way, if you look at the lineup that Pochettino had for that team,
it's the same.
And they were all fucking hurt, right? Yeah, it's Sissoko playing like a legitimately like central midfield role. Yeah. So all of the things you could say about, Mourinho and we'll go more into this on Thursday because we only have a couple minutes left today.
Yeah.
But if you're going to tell me that Mourinho and he was on the top of the table around Christmas and blah, 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 and he blew it. Yes. But you can't blame the players. You can't blame the players anymore. You can give credit to the players for the years.
I think the real question is would you rather have the same record you have right now, but score 20 more goals and give up 10 more?
15, 20 more. Yes.
Of course.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, it's way more. Like, would you rather have Leeds season or your season?
Well, the weird thing is Spurs, and this is the hardest argument to make when you just look at simple stats. Where does Spurs rank in goals for in the Premier League right now?
They're good.
I'll answer that. 4th. They're not City.
Crazy.
They're not Leicester. And the only reason Leicester's ahead of them is they put 74 on Sheffield United last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
Well, they have a 9-goal. No, that 9-goal was last year. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, but so 49 goals in 29 games played. That's a good return.
Right, but that doesn't show. But that doesn't show like the goals created and the chances created and
just imagine,
and all
right?
That shit. Yeah, they're plus 19. What? They're plus 19. They're like they're right there with all the other teams. Yeah, but those performances are not the same.
Just under 2,700 Premier League minutes played in Tottenham's season this year. Right? Yeah, simple math. What percentage of that do you think they didn't even try it across midfield? 35, 40% of those minutes?
More.
Right? Okay, fine.
More.
But imagine that. But imagine if 30% of 10 games.
Well, think about it. You can do it by possession.
Yeah,
you probably have a possession rate of like just 40%.
Super fake high level numbers, right? 30% of 2,700 is 900, right? Roughly. Yeah. 10 fucking games worth
of not having the ball.
They didn't even try. Right? How many more goals would they have with Sonny in that insane, ridiculous form he was in? And Harry Kane, literally like the reincarnation of both Rooneys, like early Rooney and late Rooney. Like, are you kidding? Holy shit. Matt, the thing that keep me up at night is how much talent Spurs have wasted the last 2 years. And
well, here's your number. Yeah. Ready? I'm looking at progressive passes. They are in the bottom half of the league.
There you have it. Yeah.
Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Man United, and Leeds are at the top. It's a long way of saying
I promised I wouldn't go on a tirade, and it is coming, but it's not this episode. You're welcome, everybody. But to answer your question, yes, it's dead, and Tottenham's the proof, right? Yeah. You're always going to have your Newcastles. You're always going to have your West Broms. You know what's funny? You're going to have your West Broms who come into the season going, we can be idealistic, we can go for it, and then 10 games in, they go, no, we fire them. No, we can't. No, we can't. Yeah. No, we can't.
What you want, really? You want next season? Just hire Bielsa.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing. Because basically he's Pochettino. Anyway, let's end on that because Mike, you have to talk to our friends in Hyderabad.
That's right.
Done. That was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We release new episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. Please rate, review, say what you want on Apple Podcasts. It makes a huge difference for the show. And if you don't, we're going to get relegated.